Hey guys, how you doing? I want to tell you, I want to wish you guys a happy new year. Uh, this is New Year's Eve right now when I'm filming this. Hopefully I'll get it uploaded by tonight. But happy new year to you guys. I wish you the best. I'm coming back to you just to discuss the year and thinking about the year, and also to answer some questions for the Q&A. So this year has been a heck of a year for me. Started off strong. Winning the Arnold title, then coming back and winning the Olympia title, and it's been a very, 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 very crazy year, but blessed year for me. I was able to get two big wins and really set the stage for 2020. So it's been good to be back home after the Olympia, after the traveling, after being on the road, of course. I'd like to thank everybody and all the hospitality I've had all around the world, from everywhere I've been after the Olympia and even before. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the love and support, and you guys keep me motivated, keep me going, so I appreciate that. But let's go ahead and reach into these questions on the Q&A. The first one I had was, when did I start my bodybuilding journey? So that was around, I guess, 19 years old. I've always been into weight training and training. At the time I was I think I just finished playing college football at the time, Middle Tennessee State University. And I had a girlfriend at the time that was kind of helping me find a gym in Murfreesboro at the time for me to train. So we shopped around. We went to a Gold's Gym, and then we shopped around to another gym called Southeastern. And this was just this underground hardcore gym that's down in the basement under a movie theater. And it turned out to be Olympus Athletic Club, where I train today on occasions at Olympus. So in Murfreesboro, when I'm there, it's where I get it in. It's got a lot of history, got a lot of murals and stuff for me in the gym. But I got started there, and the trainer there asked me if I was going to compete in a bodybuilding show. I told him no, maybe 4 or 5 times. And that last time, I guess I had a time to think about it. And I figured I was in the gym, I might as well do something with it since I wasn't playing college sports anymore. So I told him yes. He showed me a diet. He gave me a meal plan. I was about 4 weeks out, and he showed me how to pose every time I came into the gym, and that's all she wrote. I won the overall class, I won the novice class, and I won the middleweight class at that show. And it was an SNBF show, Supernatural Bodybuilding Federation show at the time, and that's where I got started. That's where I got my feet wet. So that's when I started. I was in college. So let's see. You got another question. The importance of cardio and its timing. Now, I'm one of those people that does morning cardio, but I don't think morning cardio has that much magic to it, except the fact that, you're going into cardio a little bit depleted from a fasted state. So maybe you'll get into your fat stores, your energy stores a little bit quicker. But you can get the same effect post-training. So it doesn't really, carb timing doesn't make a really big deal in itself. It just kind of depends on the lifestyle that you're living and when you can get it in and what's convenient for you. I know starting my day with cardio just helps me mentally get it out of the way. It's a good way for me to start the day, increases my mood, helps with my appetite as far as if I got to get those calories in. That cardio kind of stimulates my appetite to get my breakfast in, get my food in, help me get my meals in, versus without it. I know if you're taking certain type of supplements, it'll cater to you if you're in a fasted state versus if you're in a fed state. So it kind of depends on what your program is like, what your lifestyle is like, but whether you want to put your cardio. But the most important thing is getting your cardio in when you can get it in, because whatever percentage wise that you may get out of doing it at a certain time of day is not more important than consistency at the end of the day. So you may get a small percentage out of a certain timing, based on your lifestyle, but that doesn't mean that if you don't get that special window of timing, that is not good. Cardio is good. Basically, you're just trying to get those calories burned, and any time of day can be appropriate for that. A lot of people don't like to do cardio too late because maybe they can't rest before they go to bed because they're kind of charged up. Some people don't have that problem. So basically, it just depends on you, depends on your lifestyle. Just get the cardio in. That's my advice at the end of the day. Most people find getting it in early before they get their day started with anything else is probably the most consistent way they can get the cardio in. Most people, but I don't think there's any magic to doing it that way necessarily early in the morning anyway, on a fasted state. So whether you're fed or whether you're fasted, just get your cardio in. The next question. You think it's necessary to barbell squat for big legs? No, I don't think it's necessary. I mean, there's been several bodybuilders that have proven that. Maybe Dorian started off squatting in his bodybuilding career, but he eliminated squats somewhere down in the line in his career, and he won multiple Olympias. I know I've heard of Victor Nunez. He told me about Orville Burke. And if you haven't seen Orville Burke, he's had some of the biggest, hugest quads, legs in general. And he never squatted. He never liked squatting. He did a lot of leg press and other variations, but he was one of those guys that never squatted. So I don't believe that squats are the be-all, end-all to leg development for everybody, because the different lever arms, different basically leg lengths, your tibialis versus your femur. Sorry, escaped me for a minute. Basically, those two bones, they can be different variable lengths in different people. Different people have different hip sets and their hip sockets and whatnot. So they may not be able to squat necessarily as deep as other people's, easier. And then your torso length, because you're having a barbell on your back, has a lot to do with it and how your torso segments versus your legs. So, it doesn't have to do much to do with if you're tall or if you're short. It just depends on the balance between those two factors, because there's some tall people that can squat deep and get in there really good. Some tall people can't. There's some short people that's the same case. Ankle mobility is a big factor as well. So if you have poor ankle mobility, I mean, you may not get as much out of the squat as a lot of other people that have great ankle mobility, especially when it comes to the quads. So, I mean, some people I've known a history of squatting a lot. They develop the glutes really well from squats, but not really the quads. And some people do develop the quads and not the glutes. So it depends on what you're squatting for and what you're targeting. But there's so many exercises out there, and so many squat variations out there. If you can't find one to fit you, then you're not really looking hard enough, or you're not trying enough variations. So squat is not all to be all to leg training. It's important. A lot of people build great legs on squat, so you can't discount them. It's one of those movements I think you should always try to learn and try to execute properly, especially for beginners, because you never know as a beginner. You just want to be able to get your good form and learn all the basics. Whether they can help you build big legs or not, you'll find that out eventually. But you need to have a variety if you're bodybuilding anyway. So just not just squats is what you depend on anyway. You would depend on multiple different exercise variations for whatever muscle groups you're working. So if you're a power lifter, of course, you're going to have to learn to squat. It's necessary. It's an essential lift in powerlifting. So, but for bodybuilding, not necessarily. So a lot of people are set down on squats. They think if you can't build big legs without them. I disagree. I think you can. You just have to use other means. You have to use other squat variations, machines, leg press, lunges. I mean, even if you can't back squat, maybe you can front squat. Hack squat machines. It's all kind of different machines now that cater to the squat movement, that you don't have to take a barbell out of the rack and actually squat, and they can hit your quads and your legs just fine. So you may have to have one of those machines in your gym. Feel free to use it to build your legs if you don't like squatting, or you don't prefer squatting, or your technique in squatting is not that great. So that's the answer to your question. I got another question. Back workout tips, please. I think it was, if you're watching this video around the appropriate time this past week, I did release a IGTV video that I had on YouTube, part of a YouTube video that I shot for back training, but it explained or just kind of demonstrated the different moves I use for a dumbbell row. Now, the key to back training is to eliminate the arms, basically. That's one of the #1 keys, and work the back through a full range of motion. Most people don't understand what working the back through the full range of motion is. If you're trying to work the upper back, flexes and contracts, you stretch it. When you roll it over here, you pop your chest back, you pull your shoulder blades back, and it's contracted, right? That's typical range of motion. Some people don't believe in going this way with the range of motion, They believe it hinders your spine or causes some kind of issues with the disc in the upper back or whatever. Some people have heard that before. I've never had a problem. I've done it with all my back training for years, and I've been able to develop a good back. Matter of fact, I wasn't able to develop a good back until I was able to realize I can roll my thoracic spine in that way and go through that range of motion. My arms dominated all my rowing movements. So one of the things I had to do was realize that it's not just pulling back and forth. It is actually the torso that actually moves and rolls in and out. So if you watch my videos, any of my videos, you can see that demonstrated in the movements that I use. Another thing I needed to focus on is how to put it in the back, and a lot of that is alleviating the grip. So when I'm not squeezing so hard with the hands, because you squeeze with the hands, you want to contract with the forearms contract, the biceps contract, and you're fatigued in your grip before you can really target the back. So using straps, or grips, vice versa. Chic is the ones I use, or just wrist wraps by Chic. I use wrist wraps, of course. Those style grips help alleviate your grip and help you kind of focus on pulling back through with the elbows instead of grabbing and pulling with your hands. And everybody is going to have different range of motions with back. If you have super long arms, then maybe you can't really expect to come hands all the way to the belly button on certain back movements. Maybe you're going to be a little shy, but long as the back is reached through a full range of motion, that chest is popped out, everything's contracted, you're going to be fine. Your other buddy with short arms, he may hit himself in the stomach every time. So you got to make sure the back is working. You got to feel, I tell people, where you stretch, where you feel the stretch in the movement is often where you're going to have the hardest or the most intense part of the contraction. So if you focus on the rhomboids or the upper back and you're not getting that stretch in the upper back portion, you're not feeling it before you pull back, you're not probably targeting them or going through a range of motion that's sufficient enough to get the maximal stimulation of the muscle. Same goes with lats. If you're not feeling those lats stretch, and then you're pulling back against the stretch of those lats, then, like I said, you may not be working the lats. One elbow position is key for the lats. A lot of people think they got to do really wide pull downs or lat pull downs, and you're pulling back, pulling down. But a lot of times, unless your elbows are moved kind of forward, you're not really going to engage those lats unless your elbows are moved kind of forward. Another plane, the best plane to pull for me, in my opinion, is the neutral grip or the reverse grip, because the elbows are in this plane forward or front of the body. Because when you're pulling really wide, notice how your elbows go behind you or behind the body. You're going to target more in the middle back, the rhomboid area, the meat of the back, and not necessarily the lats. I mean, they will be involved, but not, you don't be targeting them like you would if you use the neutral grip or reverse grip, supinated grip, pull down, and those elbows are more in the front line of the body versus behind you or going behind you. So that's one of those key tips. The lat pull down is a great machine, but like I said, you got to know how to use it to target the lats. Most people do, when they use it, they don't hit the lats at all. They hit the rhomboids and the mid back. Let's see what other questions we have. Okay, for the next Q&A, for a 48, I guess he's meaning 48-year-old guy with a regular 8-hour job, natural, what training frequency is optimal for you? Well, this is a big thing. Training frequency, when you look at the research, Dr. Scott Stevens, he had a chart that he showed. If you go to his Instagram page, Dr. Scott Stevenson, I think, I forget his Instagram handle, maybe it's Fortitude Training is his Instagram handle. He had a chart that basically listed different studies on frequency, and they were all across the board, and they intersected each and every way, because some people, they benefited better from lower frequency. Some people benefited better than with higher frequency. So it's all across the board. It's a very individual subject, whether you can recover from those training sessions or you need more frequency, or whether you need more recovery time and you need less frequency. It's going to depend on you. I can't really answer that for you. Only your experience can teach you that. So if you play with frequency and you know that you can recover from it from workout to workout and get maybe 2 sessions in for a muscle group in a week, possibly even 3, then go for it. But you have to understand your volume per workout is lower than if you did 1 workout per week. that volume per workout is going to be lower because you're going to be hitting it multiple times during the week. You got to really know how to recover. But just because everybody can't train with high frequency. Some people do better with lower frequency. They need that time to recover, and it's just a genetic thing. It has nothing to do with necessarily your nutrition, your supplementation, or any of those things. Some people just recover slower than others, and some people need that time. So it's all across the board. But my advice to you, being a guy that works a full-time job, and of your age and natural, I just suggest that you find the appropriate training windows for you to be consistent throughout the week. And first, you got to find a consistency. You want to train how many days a week can you train? And depending on how many days you can train during the week will depend kind of how you can deal with your frequency. If you wanted to test frequency, I would test it on a weaker body part that you wanted to bring up to get more frequent sessions in, and see if that works for you in that area. If it doesn't work for you, you go back to using a lower frequency. But as far as a guy that's busy like you got to get it in where it fits in. Your lifestyle may not lead to the ability to train as frequently as you may like or desire to. And even if you do, you have to realize those workouts are going to be a lot shorter than your traditional workout if you did once a week. All right, let's see what's going on here. Yes, let's see. Reading these, see if any more is in here. Let's see. Well, I think that's it actually for all the questions right now. I really appreciate you guys for sending your questions in. I appreciate answering them. I take the time off of my day to just get these answered. I've been getting a lot of different messages from you guys, wishing you a happy new year and everything. I really appreciate it, guys. I wish you guys the best 2020 possible. Remember just to stay consistent no matter what you're doing. Stay consistent, stay focused, and have somebody to keep you accountable in 2020 if you want to get anything done. It's always a grind. Life is never easy. You go through your highs, you go through your lows, but the key is, you keep the right mindset when you're going through your lows and keep fighting, and you come out on the other side. Eventually, we all have to grind sometimes to get where we're going. Believe me, I'm a testament to that. But I want to say, first and foremost, all the best again in 2020, and I just hope that you can accomplish the things you want to accomplish, the goals you want to set. Remember, take one day at a time. One day at a time, one day of success at a time. Everything is built. Every successful story is taken one day at a time. So guys, don't get too far ahead of yourself. Please make realistic goals. And if you need to seek help and you need to seek guidance, humble yourself enough to understand that that's what you need to do to get to the next level or to be successful. We're not put in this world alone. And we have to depend and rely on each other sometimes to get to the places that we need to go. So I just want to let you guys remember that, because I couldn't be in this position. I wouldn't have nothing like these things here if I didn't have help, from certain key people, my wife, my family, my coaches, my support teams, such as Badaru Dai, and all those people that have been encouraging me and pushing me along the way and influencing me in the proper aspects along the way. So hopefully I can shed some light on that for you guys and help encourage you and motivate you to achieve the things that you wish to achieve. But remember, it's not one of those selfish, lonely tasks. You're going to need other people. You're going to have to depend on other people to get where you need to go. So remember that, man. We can't do these things without each other. So be nice, be good to each other. Treat people the way you would like to be treated, because you never know when you're going to need them. And you never know when they're gonna, you're gonna need a favor. So that's my advice for 2020. Shout out to my sponsor, SciTech Nutrition. I got some SciTech up here, but shout out to these guys for supporting me in 2019. We winning a championship. Shout out to Oxygen Team, Oxygen Gym, Badaru Dai, my coach Abdullah, and I just wish everybody the best in 2020. And I'm out, guys. Much love.